There are a lot of third-party Tesla apps to choose from, but many of them just duplicate the official Tesla app's basic functionality and aren't worth installing at all. The only apps that really warrant checking out are those that give you additional functionality or analysis that you can't get from Tesla directly. Want to know how your car's battery health compares to other Tesla owners? Want to start preheating your car with just your voice? Well, that's where these apps come in. Today, I'm taking a closer look at stats for iOS. A few months ago, I reviewed a couple of interesting third-party Tesla apps, Tezlab and TeslaFi. I had a few reservations around Tezlab, but since my original review, they've continued to refine the experience and add new features. I'm still keeping my eye on them, and will probably do a follow-up at some point down the road. TeslaFi has remained my go-to standard that I use day to day to track my usage, efficiency, battery health, and much more. It's not as simple to set up and use as Tezlab, but it offers more of the deeper analytical data that I'm looking for. I'll include a link in the description for anyone that's interested in watching those reviews. And before I jump in, all third-party Tesla apps need you to log in with your Tesla credentials to generate a Tesla API token. Some even allow you to enter your Tesla API token directly. Before diving into any of these apps, make sure you look into the developer and understand how they're using your data to make sure you're comfortable with them. If you want to deauthorize a developer, all you have to do is change your Tesla account password and your API token will no longer work. Over the past month or so, I've had a few of you suggest stats to me to check out. It costs $15 in the App Store right now, which might seem like a lot when you compare it to what other apps are selling for. The big question is it worth that price? Well, in short, I'd say yes, and here's why. Stats falls somewhere between Tezlab and TeslaFi for convenience and functionality. Just download it, log in, and start using the app. There's no additional setup needed to make sure it's not going to drain your car's battery. No crazy configuration or sleep cycles, just install and go, which is very much like Tezlab. What you'll see when you first log in is the battery screen. On here, you'll see your car's charge amount with a controllable slider for setting your maximum charge. Under that, you'll get a readout of your average hourly phantom drain, range reported by the car versus your estimated range based on your driving efficiency, and information from your last charge. It's a minimally designed screen, but is packed with a surprising amount of information for your current state of your car. It's a great little snapshot. Move over to the bar chart in the main nav, and you'll find a more robust display of your personal driving data over time. You won't see details of specific drives, but you'll see breakdowns of charges, added miles, charging cost, kilowatt hours added, and savings over gasoline. You can view this in daily, weekly, and monthly ranges. Look at your driving efficiency or MPGE based on the length of trip, average of 50 miles, 200 miles, and 500 miles. And yes, before anyone comments, you can switch this to metric. One of the things I really like about TeslaFi is that it shows a breakdown of temperature impact on efficiency, and so does stats. But this is one of those areas where the UI fails the app just a little bit. There's an easily missed tiny graph icon in the driving efficiency section that you can tap on to get a nice scatter plot of your battery efficiency by temperature. Further down the page, you can get charts on miles driven per day, week, or month. Below that, you get reports on charge rate in kilowatts against the battery level. This is something I really didn't like how Tezlab displayed it, and I kind of lost my mind on their use of bar charts. And feel free to watch that review to see my mini bar chart meltdown. Well, Stats displays this information as a line graph in a very easy to digest manner. I immediately understood what I was looking at the first time I loaded up the app. I tipped my UI designer's hat to the developer for this one. And we're still not done with the data. Stats also gives you a scatter chart on your battery's health, which helps you monitor battery degradation. It's a great stat to keep an eye on, but something you should not get anxiety over. And finally, a breakdown of phantom drain. On the first screen, we got an average hourly drain, but here we can slice that drain by day, week, and month, and even better, it includes a little map to show where you were when the drain occurred. The UI of how this area functions was a little bit confusing at first, but makes a lot of sense once you start to use it. This can be very helpful if you see a big spike in drain. For me, I'll sometimes see higher phantom drain if I'm doing a series of short errands around town. The car doesn't have an opportunity to go into a deep sleep to save energy. And if you're sitting in the car waiting for family to run into a store, the car is going to have a higher than average phantom drain. Another area where I dinged Tezlab but gave TeslaFi high marks was for data export. I want to give Stats a virtual high five because they also include a way to export the data for your own use. The one downside is that it's not obvious how to do so. In places where you can export the data, you'll see a little share icon. Tap that and you'll get some options for exporting. Move to the line graph icon in the navigation, and this is where you'll see aggregated statistics for all stats users. Both Tezlab and TeslaFi offer similar insights like this, so it's great to see stats including something like it too. This shows you averages for driving efficiency and phantom drain across all users, as well as a firmware version and how many people have each version. Again, it's not like you'll be spending a lot of time on the screen, but it gives you a benchmark for comparison. Stats also offers some of the basic controls that you'll get in any third-party app, like climate control, keyless driving, locking and unlocking doors, honking the horn, flashing the lights, and where the car is currently parked. But I did save the best for last. Stats includes Siri shortcut support. You can set up voice commands for locking doors, heating seats in the cabin, opening the trunk in the front, starting and stopping charging, opening the port, and getting your car's range or temperature. Once you've configured your personalized Siri voice commands, you can use your iPhone, iPad, HomePod, or Apple Watch to start warming the car up in the morning. Before the Stats app, I'd been using the Remote S app for this, which was hit or miss from my experience. It was also the only unique functionality that the app offered compared to the Tesla app. So as soon as I installed Stats, Remote S was deleted from my phone. I've been using Siri shortcuts to warm up my car every morning. Stats also has some extra things available buried in the settings menu. You can configure notifications if your car is unlocked and nobody's inside, or if your climate control is on and you're not in the car. There's also a setting for scheduling heating and cooling, which can come in handy if you leave your home at the same time every day. And for those speed freaks out there, there's even a 0 to 60 measurement tool. Now, is it all sunshine and rainbows? Close, but there are a few minor nitpicks that I have. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know that I'm a UI designer, so some of my nitpicks are definitely on the picky side. While the UI is clean and the data display is easy to understand, some of the navigation is confusing. There aren't any labels on the main navigation, so you only have nondescript icons to try and decipher. What's the difference between the bar chart icon and the line graph icon? When you see the content on the screens, it makes perfect sense why the content is grouped the way it is. The bar chart icon is your data versus the line graph as all user data. But without labels and the icons that are very similar to each other, it's not clear what you're going to see when you tap on it. The charts themselves also don't have a consistent title or label. The information is all there, but you have to decipher each chart from its unique labeling, tabs, and graph data. And as I mentioned earlier, the icons for exporting data and seeing how temperature affects your battery, they're hidden and easily missed. Those are very, very minor nitpicks from a UI designer. A little TLC on some icon choices and labels would help the usability, but the structure and organization of the app is pretty solid. Overall, Stats is a great app, and I give it a big thumbs up. It's easy to use, works reliably, and is kind of a bargain for the price. I know the price sounds like a lot, but the developer is putting out consistent updates, fixing bugs, and adding new features. It's a lot of work that he's essentially adding for free. I'm a TeslaFi subscriber and feel like I'm getting a lot of value out of that subscription price. For Stats, I'd feel the same way if he switched to a subscription model to ensure he'd be able to continue developing the app and making updates. I'm a big fan of independent developers being able to make a living on the App Store. TeslaFi is still my recommendation for deep data nerds out there. It offers some incredible details on every aspect of your Tesla that I haven't seen matched anywhere else yet. But that comes with a cost. The biggest negative is that TeslaFi is a web-only product and doesn't have a mobile app. So the only integrations that you have at the moment are with something like Amazon Alexa. Tezlab is on the other side of the spectrum with zero configuration and a decent but slimmed down level of information on your trips, battery, and other Tezlab users. It also offers some basic car controls, but has a very cool real-time stats view that you can pull up in your car's browser. It's more accessible than TeslaFi, but more skin deep, and your data is currently locked into their system. Then there's Stats, which I think is sitting in the sweet spot between those two. It may not offer as detailed a view as TeslaFi, but Stats offers some great statistics to help you judge your driving efficiency and your car's health, as well as some of the nifty car controls built in with Siri integration. And like Tezlab, it takes zero configuration to get it up and running. It's a native mobile app, and the information is streamlined and digestible. Which of those is right for you really depends on what you hope to get out of it, but hopefully I've given you enough to make a decision. If you're interested in trying out TeslaFi and want to add an additional 2 weeks to your free trial, you can use my referral code in the description below. And if you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and drop a comment below on what you think. Do any of you use Stats? What about any other third-party apps that you use? Chime in on what you use and why. And don't forget about the limited edition Tesla wall connector giveaway that I'm running right now. The giveaway is available in the United States and Canada and is running until March 8th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. So be sure to get your entries in before then. If you'd like to support the channel, there are some ways that you can do so. Want some fun geeky t-shirts? I have an SFSF shop page that includes some cool Tesla, SpaceX, science and video game designs. Some custom Undecided channel prints are also on the way. Every purchase helps to support the channel, so be sure to check out the link in the description. And looking for some great Tesla accessories, you can get 15% off your first order with Abstract Ocean. You can also become an Undecided supporter on Patreon to help grow and shape the channel. If you're interested, please check out my Patreon page for additional details. And I hope to see some of you there. If you haven't already, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell to get alerts when I post new videos. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.